The Sack of Rome and the Barbarians' Mercy, Part 2, The City of God, Volume 1, Book 1, Argument 2. So the second argument is that it is quite contrary to the usage of war that the victors should spare the vanquished for the sake of their gods. There are histories of numberless wars, both before the building of Rome and since its rise and the extension of its dominion. When a city had been taken by foreigners, the victors spared those who were found to have fled for sanctuary to the temples of their gods, or one instance in which a barbarian general gave orders that none should be put to the sword who had been found in this or that temple. Alluding to Alexander the Great and Xenophon's conquests, it was common to spare residents who sought sanctuary in temples and holy places, even if these places were not of the conqueror's faith. It was clear that the people weren't spared because they were followers of a certain god or pantheon of gods like Jupiter or Zeus or Osiris. The next passage makes it clear that it was not out of respect for the foreign gods, however, that they were spared. For what had Minerva herself first lost, that she should perish? Her guards, perhaps? No doubt. Just her guards. For as soon as they were slain, she could be stolen. It was not, in fact, the men who were preserved by the image, but the image by men. How, then, was she invoked to defend the city and the citizens, she who could not defend her own defenders? When fellow pagans attacked each other in Troy, for example, the goddess, or the temple of Minerva, was stolen and sacked. The lifeless idols could not protect the city-states of antiquity, and rather ironically needed temple guards of their own to protect the idols and their shrines and treasures and artifacts of pagan worship. Clearly the pagan gods were not being respected, that they were merely looted and the treasures were shown off back to the conqueror's homeland to bolster their reputation. Then what exactly is binding some conquerors of antiquity to not attack people seeking sanctuary? Augustine would eventually hint that they are following some kind of universal principle, and would eventually develop his basis of casus belli, or a just war, and Western law, which will eventually influence Western civilization from that point on and into the future.